Tourists typically pay commercial rates to escape reality. A growing segment of travelers are paying those rates to walk directly into an active war zone. A local organization called War Tours Ukraine facilitates exactly this. They operate under an uncompromising mandate to bring foreign visitors face-to-face with the physical evidence of Russian aggression. The enterprise functions on a dual model. It gives outsiders unfiltered access to recent historical sites, and it channels a portion of the tour fees directly into funding the Ukrainian military. This model operates under the framework of solidarity tourism. Solidarity tourism is a travel form where visitors enter areas experiencing severe crisis or early recovery, specifically to provide localized economic and moral support, rather than engaging in passive voyeurism. Booking one of these itineraries requires a heavy emotional and financial investment. Travelers must carefully evaluate their own risk tolerance before deciding how close they want to get to the front lines. This topographical map of Eastern Europe illustrates the initial logistical friction. With commercial airspace closed, reaching the country requires navigating congested overland routes from the Polish border. Once inside, travelers must choose between three primary operational zones: the capital city of Kyiv, the immediate northwestern suburbs of Irpin and Bucha, or the eastern stronghold of Kharkiv. Moving toward the eastern border adds hours of complex transit and heavily monitored checkpoints. Committing to this journey requires calculating exactly how far into the country your available schedule, your exact budget, and personal safety thresholds will actually allow you to travel. Selecting an itinerary that misaligns with those constraints guarantees either a logistical failure before you arrive or an overwhelming psychological strain once you do. This comparison matrix breaks down the entry-level offering. The one-day Kyiv tour establishes the baseline at €200 per person. This is the most highly accessible option. The entire itinerary takes place within the capital city's reinforced defensive perimeter, removing the need for long-haul internal transit. Looking at this photograph of destroyed Russian hardware lined up in central Kyiv, we see the core curriculum of this tier. Visitors inspect captured artillery, view the sites of intercepted rocket impacts, and tour dedicated war-related museums. The fee covers a robust safety net. The company provides a certified guide, secure point-to-point transportation, and dedicated insurance for the day. The Kyiv option serves as a highly structured, contained overview of the conflict. It delivers clear historical context while maintaining the lowest possible physical friction for the traveler. The matrix updates here to show the Irpin and Bucha tier. At €300, this represents a significant step up in both geographical depth and emotional weight. This image of a shattered apartment facade marks a severe shift in the tour's focus. The curriculum moves away from capturing military hardware and concentrates entirely on the architectural destruction and human cost of the initial occupation. Travelers walk through documented war crime locations and speak directly with the local residents who survived the early months of the invasion. Here we see a stark monument included in the itinerary, the Irpin Car Cemetery. This massive pile of burned and crushed civilian vehicles stands as a permanent, unavoidable record of mass displacement. Venturing outside the capital hub to reach these suburbs requires a higher degree of logistical coordination and increases the total time spent on the road. This option demands a high degree of emotional endurance. The traveler must be prepared to process raw, localized trauma that has not yet been sanitized for museum display. This final row of our matrix covers Kharkiv. At €350, this tier introduces the maximum level of friction and risk available to a commercial traveler. Because Kharkiv sits exceptionally close to the Eastern Front and the Russian border, reaching the city requires extensive, complex travel through heavily militarized sectors. Independent movement here is highly restricted. The itinerary relies entirely on specialized regional guides, like their local expert Kirilo, to navigate the elevated threat level and act as translators. This photograph captures the raw aftermath of a strike, illustrating exactly what this tour entails. Visitors survey fresh missile craters, widespread structural devastation, and newly captured Russian trophies. Unlike the curated, post-occupation safety of the Kyiv and Irpin routes, Kharkiv presents an unfiltered, ongoing threat environment. You trade the safety of distance for absolute proximity. This tier subjects the traveler to the immediate, daily reality of an active war. This decision tree maps constraints to the right itinerary. First filter, time. A tight schedule routes you to the baseline Kyiv option. With multiple days, the decision splits, studying a localized occupation or witnessing the active Eastern Front. Attempting to organize these visits independently without local clearance is a profound operational mistake. The premium rates you pay the company secure vetted routes, real-time intelligence, and vital security protocols. The core value proposition of War Tours Ukraine is the mitigation of risk. They provide the highly specialized infrastructure required to view these locations safely. The Kyiv tour is built for the short-term visitor, the visiting journalist, or the traveler who needs a safe, comprehensive primer on the capital's resilience. The Irpin and Bucha itinerary is for the dedicated solidarity traveler. It requires someone specifically motivated to document the immense human cost and structural damage left in the wake of an occupying force. The Kharkiv tour is for highly motivated individuals, possessing the operational patience and risk tolerance required to stand near the front lines. None of these options are designed for casual thrill seekers. Anyone unable to process severe, recent trauma with absolute respect should entirely avoid booking a ticket. By matching your constraints to the right location, War Tours Ukraine offers a highly functional system. It successfully converts your presence to direct financial support for the defense of the country.